Hi, it's Amanda with Always in Love. We're back with another review. It's the last book in the Kylie Ryans series. It's called Girl in Love, and it's by Caisey Quinn. And Ethel Jo is here to tell you a little bit about it.
And this is the last edition of Girl in Love by Caisey Quinn. It's Kylie Ryans. It's kind of like the finale. It kind of just takes what Kylie's gone through with the first two books of how she's kind of gone from, being a young 18-year-old, getting into the music business, thinking that this is what she was going to do and step forward. And then she meets Trace, who's kind of has this troubled past and deals with alcoholism. And it's like Kylie just finally moves on. He kind of just left and went to rehab at the end of Girl on Tour and just kind of leaves her, and she struggles with this. And she was really in love with him, but he is technically what she thinks is with Gretchen Gibson. And those two kind of just, she's hurt and she goes through this. And it was kind of like Trace got better with this. And he was like, from at the beginning of the series, he was just like the red label whiskey, and now he's like the fine bourbon that you pay extra for. And Trace just got better with time. And Trace really struggles with addiction, and I really appreciate how Caisey writes this story about addiction and stuff. And Kylie just really kind of blossoms into this young 18. Now she's 20 years old, and she grew up and she finally knows what she wants. She knows what she wants in the music business, and she's going to get through this. And I really I enjoyed how she evolved. Like, we watched her grow up from book one to this final book, and then now Trace is just even better.
Yeah, he. That's why Trace has been our book boyfriend for the last three books, because every single book there's something about him to love, but each book
Mm-hmm.
he gets so better. He becomes more of like the man that you want to be with forever, and he really he cleans up his act. He really becomes her go-to guy, and that's what's so great about this series in particular is you can really see all the characters kind of evolve through each of the books. It created like this huge roller coaster emotions and a lot of it was just a huge roller coaster up and down their relationship the entire time. But that's kind of how it happens in our lives sometimes. It's not quick and easy and all butterflies. Sometimes it is a roller coaster, ups and downs and all kinds of stuff. So that's what I really liked about Casey's writing in this series. It was really spot on, the way she dealt with all the issues, the way she dealt with relationships and people's interactions and misunderstandings. Unfortunately, the last book and this book were full of misunderstandings and misinformation between the press and all different kinds, and thinking that the person you love is with somebody else and really not knowing what's going on and kind of having to stay away from them. It's kind of part of the roller coaster that this series was, and it really made for a really fantastic read.
And I think that's why he is our top shelf book boyfriend, is because of that. It was just one of those stories that they worked at it, and it's like it just got better with time, and it wasn't one of those quick insta loves that I like insta loves, but it was just one of those books that I like because it was a slow progress.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely she made him work for it, and it really paid off in the end. It was a really great story. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have Trace Corbin as our top book boyfriend, especially for this book. After three books, that he's definitely got to be in our Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So the triggers in this book are kind of the same as the other ones. It does deal heavily with alcohol addiction and things like that, and a lot of misunderstanding. There's a couple misunderstandings about cheating, that kind of thing. So, but it's handled really well. So it's really something that you don't have to stay away from if you can kind of push through it. It was handled and written very well.
Yep.
So we got the other characters in this. Mia Montgomery is in this one as well. Trace's sisters. Kylie's friend Lulu from back home becomes her stylist and goes on tour with her. It really helps to bring quite a bit of levity and things to the story. A lot of additions to the story that really makes for a much bigger picture and a much richer experience.
And I think that's why I like it, is when some of these authors incorporate other characters, because we have his sisters, Claire Ann and Ray, And we have Ray's story too. And Ray is this young teenager and she just wants her brother to be in love with Kylie. And then we have Clarion that's kind of like the more mature and she just kind of has this a relationship with somebody else and that, but it's just like this whole, I feel like you get like a bigger picture when you talk about the other characters because sometimes somebody like you just hear about the two people and you never hear about the outside world. And that's what I like about this is that it talks about the outside world and the other people in her life. And then even we get a chance into Gretchen's life too and what she goes through with her addiction. And even though there's, the people always thought that her and Trace were together, it's just you get this other side. And I think that's why I also like the story too.
Yeah, it was really great to the way that it was written, the way that it's told. These other stories kind of you see how they reflect and how they interact with the main characters' lives and how it makes them better or worse in the situation, and it really just kind of helps to round everything out, and it really became a really 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 great story.
Agreed.
The other books in the series, we've done our other reviews. So I'll have links to those in the comments. If you want to find out more about Caisey Quinn, her stuff is in the comments as well. She has a couple other series out, both of which are fantastic. We had hoped to have an interview with her, which is great. She was gracious in agreeing to it, but unfortunately the timing did not work out. So we look forward to having her when we do the interview or the reviews for some of her other series, which I'm sure we will because they were fantastic as well. So hopefully we will see you next time. And as always, check out our Facebook page, our Twitter, and please subscribe.
Yep, please subscribe.